Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Messer. I'm the Chief of Public Safety Services for the City of Holland. Happy to be with you by video tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to provide some information to you about our current budget year and the upcoming FY 21-22 budget process. 2020 was a year that required everyone to stay positive, stay focused, stay committed, and to stay healthy. Except for a rare health issue or required quarantine, our organization and the various city departments were able to meet these requirements. With several schedule and assignment changes, along with differing levels of organizational procedures and protections put in place, the ability to adapt and be flexible this year was and continues to be demonstrated frequently within many areas within our organization. We view these challenges as an opportunity to learn and to grow as an organizational team. We have learned how to do things a little differently this year, in some cases more efficiently. We have an even clearer understanding of the importance of working as a team. Everyone has been required to step up and do their part, and they have. We, of course, remain strongly committed to our responsibilities and the community. We have tried more than ever to give back to the community this year and be there to help as many people as possible. Our community events may have been limited, but our team members continue to find numerous other ways to help. We do not have many of our year-end statistics yet. However, I can share with you the number of fire department and medical emergency responses in 2020. As you can imagine, these numbers increased from 2019 with a total number of 2,509. This number includes at least 117 responses to COVID suspected or confirmed patients. More call response numbers and graphs will be available within the next couple of weeks. At this point, we will move into the current and future budget presentation. We'll start with our current budget year. Right now, we're looking at our fire aerial truck update, range update, and command staff succession planning, along with the brain health continuation. As far as our fire aerial and the progress we're making with that, there was a 2 to 3 month delay due to the COVID restrictions back in April through June. The photos you see on your screen are actual photos of our aerial the first week of December. So the projected completion date will be around February 25, 2021. That may vary by a few days, but things are going very well. We continue to receive photos. Obviously, with the COVID restrictions, we're not able to make as many visits there as we would have in the past, but everything is going very well with that, and we hope to have that up and running by March. Current budget year issues, the range update, I'll start with that. The range has been completed and is in use for several months now. We're working on improving some of the sound dampening issues inside the range, but it's been working very well. Next is the command staff succession planning. We are continuing to work on different options with this, with nothing firmly in place at this time. This is going to probably be a fairly long process. There's really no quick fixes with that, but we continue to work on that. We've had several meetings, and we'll continue to move forward with that. Brain health, we will be moving into our third year with this, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the presentation. Future budget year issues, the fire stations. Just to give you an idea of the age of our fire stations, the Holland Park Station was built in 1977 and the Waverly Station was built in 1970. So it's over 50 years old, so we've been looking into and researching these options for these buildings for several years now. We need to get the Waverly Station replaced, and we certainly need to update the Holland Park Station. So we're moving into a lot of actions with those. You'll see many budget items over the next couple of years referencing the fire stations, so that'll really be the main thing we're looking at as far as the fire department goes, is the fire stations over the next couple of years. Next is command staff succession planning. This is a future budget year issue as well, and we'll continue to look into these potential options and continue to give reports back to council. Next item is the emphasis on core values in 2020 and moving to the continuous pursuit of excellence in 2021. In 2020, we really focused in on our core values and brought them to the forefront and refocused on them. In 2021, we were going to be looking heavily into the continuous pursuit of excellence. Of course, we always emphasize our core values and the pursuit of excellence, but we decided to devote specific time in 2020 and 2021 to talk about them and apply them to everything that we do, which includes this budget process. I think all of you are familiar with our core values wheel. These core values help establish and set our organizational standards. These standards are set at a very high level and will not move for anyone or anything. The section of the wheel that needs to be flexible and movable is the bottom section of the wheel that you see here. This section, the continuous pursuit of excellence, is very important to our organization. We have the signs seen in this slide above many of our doors within the police department and fire buildings. We want to reinforce our goal of excellence and continuous improvement. Part of the continuous pursuit of excellence is realizing that improvements in technology, partnerships, and employee development must be part of the ongoing process. We are confident with our current operations and systems in place, but we feel that these items can only help us in that pursuit. Crisis Intervention Team. This was brought back to Holland after I attended a conference in the fall of 2019. Many of our officers have been trained in this already. However, due to the COVID situations, many of them were not able to continue their training throughout this year. So in the spring of 2019, we did get some of our officers through this training, and we'll continue to do so when training reopens. We're attempting to model the Calhoun and Battle Creek Police Department model. They were at that conference. We've had many Zoom meetings with them and their community mental health team down there. And our goal is to have the police and community mental health staff working and interacting together at both buildings. This will include frequent meetings and sharing reports to initiate needed follow-up. Next we see is the accreditation process. This training and research started in the fall of 2019. The police command staff, which included myself, attended training on this in the fall of 2019 to start moving toward the accreditation process. The formal application acceptance was filed on October 2 of 2020. We now have a team in place working on this and hope to finish this process within a year. What this process is to have an outside independent group to come in and take a look at all of our policies and procedures within our department. We've also purchased what's called Power DMS software to keep track of all of our policies and training. This is in place and up and running. Our current policies are updated, very comprehensive and very good, but we feel it's important to have an outside independent review using these 108 standards to take a close look at all of our policies and procedures. This is normally a 1 to 2 year process, but like I said earlier, we're hoping because we have this team together now that we can finish this process within a year. Guardian Tracking System software updates. The Guardian Tracking System that we have in place now, we've had in place for about 10 years. What it is, we feel it's an excellent employee performance management system. It allows us to have early intervention and a warning system for our employees. It also has a use of force tracking and management component. It also provides consistent feedback to supervisors and officers. It also provides positive and negative performance flags. So what we do is we put time frames in or numbers in, and it will flag supervisors on positive or negative performance so they can have early intervention with our officers. This year we'll be asking for some upgrades to the software to enhance the effectiveness of the system. Next is our Watchguard body camera system. Our current system is very good with multiple cameras inside each cruiser and audio mics on each officer. We were the only department with this type of video and audio system in Ottawa County for several years. So we do, like I said, we do feel that our current system is a very quality system, and we've been researching this for several years while waiting for the best technology to become available. We're also waiting for legislation improvements with the FOIA process. There have been some improvements with that, but we continue to wait for additional improvements. There will be equipment costs plus annual data retention costs and personnel for the FOIA searching, reviewing, and redactions process. So we don't feel this is something that's urgent, but we feel like we should put it on your radar right now because we will continue to have conversations about this in this budget process and probably future budget processes. And finally, the Robertson Brain Health. I found this to be very beneficial. We're moving into our third year of the Robertson Brain Health, and we'll be asking for a continuation of the funding for this program. It's really helped us as far as individually, group, and organizational, in organizational ways. Individually, I know it's helped me as far as with diet, sleep habits, so on and so forth, vitamins, supplements. I know it has other officers as well. As far as the group goes, it's been beneficial to command staff and supervisors because we really have got a lot of feedback, graphs, charts, so on and so forth as far as what different groups are, supervisor groups, our night shift group, our day shift group, we can really look at them and see what we need to do to make the work environment better for them. Organizational benefits, I've gotten some overview of our entire department, and I know Dr. Robinson will be here in just a second with a video and explain that to you, but we've really gotten some good reviews as far as the overall organization. What you'll see is that stress is less likely to impact officer performance. We have a high level of communication skills. We're people-oriented. We're less likely to overreact, and we accept differences in others. As you'll hear from Dr. Robinson in just a minute here, we are used as a model department for his organization. He goes out and speaks to groups and organizations across the country. So I'm now going to play a video from Dr. Joel Robinson to summarize these findings, and this will conclude my presentation.
Hello, I'm Dr. Joel Robertson, the CEO of Robertson Research Institute. Some of you may know me and some of you may not, but first of all, I want to say I appreciate the support that Holland City has given us and the Holland Public Safety. And we have something really interesting to report to you that is very unique about your public safety department. So this is the technical term, this is inference logic based on artificial intelligence and predictive analytics. The layman says, can we compare your team versus other police departments? So basically what that means is we, with our AI, creates a norm. What is the norm? And then how are you fitting that? Are you better or worse on certain categories? And I just briefly want to share with you something that I shared with the leadership that is allowed us to, with approval, use Holland City Police as actually kind of a prototype that we share on our conferences. So first of all, I'm going to show you a couple of charts that I think are important. The first chart, which says what drives a person, the police agency per se, to do what they do. And if you notice it, you're going to see that the Holland Police is 1.2 times more people driven than the average department. So starting out, it's like these are people-oriented people, and they just love being able to do things for the population. The second one is one that I think is kind of fascinating too, because it says factors that impact team. And you're going to see that there's two very significant statistics on that. Number one is, as we know, all law enforcement is stressed. And the Holland Police Department stress is 0.73, meaning the stress on their performance. That means that even in their stress, it isn't affecting their performance. It's affecting it way less than the average. And then the other point that I think is very important to understand, which is significant during this cultural moment, is the ability, meaning the trouble accepting the differences in others, is only 0.63. That is one of the lowest numbers that we have of all categories, which means they can accept other people. And in that creates a very positive influence. So the final slide that we want to show you here, and I'm just going to give you the summary of everything, and it says, based upon the ability to accept the differences in others, the above average communication skills, the people orientation, and lesser likelihood to overreact, this team is more likely to have a positive impact on the community and make quality community-based decisions than the average law enforcement team. So congratulations to your city and to your public safety department, because that's probably a place that every police agency would like to arrive at those sorts of numbers. So thank you for your support. We look forward to continue to work with you guys.